We begin tonight with the latest firearms case to come before the U.S. Supreme Court since a 2022 decision expanding gun rights. Good evening and welcome to News 2 Now at 10. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. The court will decide whether people who use illegal drugs, including marijuana, can be barred from owning firearms. News 2's Kelly Milan explains how this could impact Tennessee.
Can the federal government stop people who use marijuana from owning guns, or does that go too far? That is the question the Supreme Court will take up in its ruling that could reach straight into Tennessee's gun culture and courtrooms. In Tennessee, guns are everywhere, from rural hunting to city ranges. But the federal law says one group can't have them: anyone who uses illegal drugs. That includes marijuana, which remains illegal in Tennessee under both the state and federal law.
The Supreme Court is considering whether the provision in the federal code that prohibits you from having a firearm if you are using or addicted to drugs. That's been the law for many years, and I think former President Biden's son was actually convicted of that offense.
In June of 2024, that same federal statute was used to convict the former president's son, now at the center of this constitutional challenge.
So the issue before the court is that constitutional? How does that restriction comport with the Second Amendment?
Even among Deep South states, Tennessee stands apart, one of the few without any form of legalized marijuana. Striking down the law wouldn't legalize marijuana here, actually far from it, but it could change how prosecutors handle gun cases tied to drug use.
It'll remove a tool that the prosecutors have to charge people, but that is a very ambiguous statute.
Rabin believes the highest court may just strike the law down altogether, not because of pot, but because of precedent.
I think a conservative court will strike this down because, remember, this is not a marijuana issue. It's a gun issue because it's a question of whether you can have firearms. And a majority of the Supreme Court has already said multiple times, unless there's some compelling reason, that the government cannot prohibit people from having firearms because you have a personal right.
Bob Haley, the Supreme Court is expected to hear arguments early next year with a decision by summer. And for many Tennesseans who see gun rights and personal freedom as deeply connected, this decision could redefine how the Second Amendment plays out in everyday life. I'll toss it back to you two.